I carved my name in a courthouse wall of pine, where judgment creeps like a noose in time. The preacher said, "Son, you're walking thin ice," but I've been dancing with the devil since I was 9. There's a rusted cross by the roadside bend, where the crows don't sing, just watch you descend. I knelt once there with the thief's last prayer, but the wind just laughed like an old false friend. I tried to wash in the river's vein, but the water ran black with borrowed pain. Every sin I sang came floating back like a coffin that won't stay in the grave. Heaven closed the door when I called its name, left me in the dirt with a brand of shame. I bled out mercy, I begged for grace, but the sky stayed cold, never showed its face. If there's a road to the promised land, it ain't carved for a sinner's hand. I heard the lock turn, I felt it slam. Heaven closed the door, and I understand. There's a bottle left on a broken rail, tastes like regret in the county jail. I drank to forget every soul I broke, but the past don't drown, it just learns to sail. I loved a girl with a wildfire smile. She said, "You're worth more than your crooked trial." But I dragged her down where the dark runs deep. Now her name's just dust on a courthouse file. The bells still ring in a town I burned. Every lesson I killed, I never learned. I see their faces in every flame, and the truth is a knife I finally earned. Heaven closed the door and I called its name, left me in the dirt with a brand of shame. I bled out mercy, I begged for grace, but the sky stayed cold, never showed its face. If there's a road to the promised land, it ain't carved for a sinner's hand. I heard the lock turn, I felt it slam. Heaven closed the door, and I understand. Now the night dawned and it just stretches thin, like a courtroom oath I can't outrun. Every mile I walk is a chain I drag, every breath I take is another one. I stop looking up for a saving sign. No angels left on this road of mine, just a trail to wrongs and a truth too late. Some doors don't open, not this time. Heaven closed the door and I called its name, left me in the dirt with a brand of shame. I bled out mercy, I begged for grace, but the sky stayed cold, never showed its face. If there's a road to the promised land, it ain't carved for a sinner's hand. I heard the lock turn, I felt it slam. Heaven closed the door, and I understand. Yeah, I heard the lock turn, I felt it slam. Heaven closed the door, and I understand. The sun bled slow on Amarillo widow's edge, like a wound that wouldn't close. Dust hung still on a crooked fence where the wild wind used to blow. Your dress caught fire in the dying gold. Boot heels traced the road. We didn't speak what we both had known, that this was the last we'd hold. Your hand in mine felt colder now, like a river running dry. And every mile we never drove was burning in your eyes. This is the last light in Amarillo, where the sky breaks down in flame, where we stood like sinners forgiven, but we're leaving just the same. Let the sunset carve it in stone, every promise we let go. In the last light in Amarillo, you're the only home I know. The radio hummed a broken hymn through a speaker cracked with years, and your voice came soft like a worn-out prayer I pretended not to hear. There was dust on the dash and rust on the keys and a tremble in your breath, like a train that's bound for somewhere else with no regard for what it left. You turned away as the daylight died, like you couldn't face the end. And I watched the fire fade from your hair, like a match that couldn't mend. This is the last light in Amarillo, where the sky breaks down in flame, where we stood like sinners forgiven, but we're leaving just the same. Let the sunset carve it in stone, every promise we let go. In the last light in Amarillo, you're the only home I know. If I had one more mile to steal, I'd drive it straight through time to the night we swore forever still would never draw a line. But the dark comes quick on broken things, and it don't ask who you are. It just takes what's left of the fading sky and buries it in scars. This is the last light in Amarillo, where your shadow slips away, where love dies slow in quiet colors at the dying of the day. Let the sunset carve it in stone, there's no saving what we chose. In the last light in Amarillo, I lose the only home I know. Yeah, the last light in Amarillo is the last place I'll let you go. hammered out a promise on a cold and iron night. Said I'd never bow to mercy, said I'd always choose the fight. Carved my name in bad decisions with a steady, stubborn hand. Now every road I wander leads me deeper in this land. I traded truth for comfort, sold my better side for pride, built a cage from every maybe that I never left behind. No jailer at the doorway, no lock I couldn't break, just the weight of my own choices and the vows I wouldn't shake. These are the chains I call my own, forged in fire, set in stone. Ain't no hand that's holding me but the man I chose to be. Every mile, every wrong I've been wearing all along. I could run, but I won't roam from these chains I call my own. I remember softer mornings when my hands were still clean, before I learned how easy it is to live in between. Every line I crossed, I swore I'd never cross again, but the devil in my mirror always looked just like a friend. Now the fields all turn to silence when I walk their broken roads, and the past stands like a preacher calling out the things I know. I ain't lost and I ain't stolen, I ain't tied by someone else. I'm just buried in the choices that I made all by myself. These are the chains I call my own, forged in fire, set in stone. Ain't no hand that's holding me but the man I chose to be. Every mile, every road I've been wearing all along. I could run, but I won't roam from these chains I call my own. If I had a key, I'd know it by the weight inside my chest. Every door I never opened, every truth I never said. Freedom ain't a stranger, it just don't feel like home when you build your life on nothing but the seeds you've overthrown. I hear redemption calling like a train out in the night, but I laid these tracks myself. Now I'm riding where they wind. These are the chains I call my own, forged in fire, set in stone. No one left for me to blame, I'm the keeper of this flame. Every scar, every sin is a place I've always been. I could leave, but I won't roam from these chains I call my own. Used to hear your footsteps in the boards at night, like a ghost with a name I could still recall. Every scar had a story, every dream had a bite. Now the walls don't speak at all. There was whiskey in the memory, rust in the rain. Every photograph burned through my veins. I could feel you in the silence, calling out my name. Now the silence don't carry a thing. I chased those ghosts down gravel roads and broken lines, held them close like a sinner holds a lie. But somewhere down the road I lost the signs. Now I can't even remember why. Now even the ghosts won't find me anymore. They don't knock on this broken door. All the pain I used to know is gone, like a hymn that died before it's sung. I'd give my soul just to feel that ache again. Even sorrow felt like a friend. But the past don't haunt like it did before. Now even the ghosts won't find me anymore. There was a time I'd awake with your name in my throat, like a curse I was meant to keep. Every night was a river, every thought a rope pulling me down where I couldn't sleep. I carved your face in the back of my mind like a prayer I refuse to forget. Now the lines have faded, the edges unwind, and I ain't even haunted yet. I walk through rooms that should be filled with you, but the air just hangs like stone. Used to feel like dying was the worst I knew. Now it's worse to feel alone. Now even the ghosts won't find me anymore. They don't knock on this broken door. All the pain I used to know is gone, like a hymn that died before it's sung. I'd give my soul just to feel that ache again. Even sorrow felt like a friend. But the past don't haunt like it did before. Now even the ghosts won't find me anymore. What's a man without the weight he carried? What's a grave when the name's erased? I was baptized in the hurt we buried. Now I'm drifting through empty space. No chains to drag, no fire to fight, no voice calling through the night. Just a heart gone still in a quiet war, and I don't feel you anymore. Now even the ghosts won't find me anymore. No footsteps on this wooden floor. All the wounds I wore like crowns are gone. like a truth that died before it's known. I'd beg the dark just to bleed again, to remember how it all began. But the past don't haunt like it did before. Now even the ghosts won't find me anymore. Bottles crack like a fall in the ground. Dust on my boots, no one else around. My knuckles still bleed from a door I broke. Truth tastes bitter in the lies I spoke. The night hangs heavy like a loaded gun. Every bad road leads to what I've done. Mama's cross hangs cold on my chest, but I ain't been living like I've been blessed. I'm one spark from burning it down, one wrong word from losing this town. Got fire in my veins and it's begging to rise, storm in my bones and it's craving the sky. If I slip, I won't turn back around. I'll tear every good thing into the ground. I'm standing right here where the devil gets proud. I'm one spark from burning it down. Your picture's faded on a dashboard frame, cracked like the man that I became. I tried to pray, but the words ran dry, so I poured my faith into one more lie. The engine hums like it knows my sin. Every mile just pulls me deeper in. I hear your voice in the rattling steel, but mercy ain't something I deserve to feel. I'm one spark from burning it down, one wrong word from losing this town. Got fire in my veins and it's begging to rise, a storm in my bones and it's craving the sky. If I slip, I won't turn back around. I'll tear every good thing into the ground. I'm standing right here where the devil gets proud. I'm one spark from burning it down. Let it strike, I'll be gone by dawn. Nothing but smoke where I once held on, and all that I loved will be swallowed whole by the rage I fed and the life I stole. I'm one spark from burning it down, endless flames where my mercy once was found. I'm standing right here where the devil gets proud. I'm one spark, yeah, I'm one spark from burning it down. We were raised where the water runs crooked and slow, past the fences that lean like they're giving up hope. She'd carve her name in the bark by the bend, said if I drift I'll come back here again. There was rust on the bridge and a cross by the rail, where the town kept its secrets and nailed them in place. I heard her laughing that last fading night, with a bottle of fire and a dare in her eyes. The river took her name, washed it out of the clay, carried every syllable miles away. Now the banks don't speak and the current don't pray, it just drags what it finds to a nameless grave. And I call through the rain, but it ain't the same since the river took her name. I went back with the dawn and a rope in my hand. Every step felt like walking through somebody's end. Her boots by the shore, laces loose in the mud, like she stepped out of time and into the flood. Sheriff said, son, some things don't return. Wrote it down like a page that was too far to turn. But I know what I saw in that black rolling vein. It don't give, it just takes and forgets what it claimed. The river took her name, carved it deep in the stone, turned her voice to a sound I don't know. Now the wind don't care and the willows don't sway, like they're tired of watching it slip away. And I scream at the sky, but it don't explain why the river took her name. Drop's got a memory buried in silt. Every ripple's a lie that the water has built. I still hear her singing when the night cuts cold through the cracks of the past that I can't hold. If I walk far enough, if I bleed in the stream, will it give back the ghost that it swallowed from me? Or am I just another man lost in the tide, with a name on my lips and no place to hide? River took her name, left me nothing to say, just a ghost of a love that it pulled away. Now the stars don't shine and the road don't bend, just circles me back to that place till I fade the same where the river took her name. Yeah, I'll fade in the dark where it carved her name. There's a courthouse clock that don't keep time, hand stuck shaking at a county crime. Sheriff's boots on the blood-worn floor, but he don't ask questions anymore. Widow Hale with a son to grin keeps her secret stitched in skin. Bible cracked where the names fall out, every prayer just to quiet a doubt. Railroad tracks hum low at night, carry sins out of sight, but they always come back around to rotten, broken Halo Town. Oh, ring those bells, but they don't save souls. Every saint here's got a ledger full, smiles cut sharp like a rusted plow. Ain't no angels walking now. You can wash your hands in the river's brown, but the dirt won't leave this dying ground. Every truth gets buried down in broken Halo Town. Preacher cold with a shaking hand counts his sins like grains of sand. Sermons burn, but his voice goes thin when the choir sings what he's done within. Young boy James found a loaded gun, thought redemption could be undone. Left a note with a trembling line, God forgive what ain't divine. Mama cries through a locked front door, but the town don't listen anymore. They just whisper through teeth, half crowned, another lost in broken Halo Town. Oh, ring those bells, but they don't save souls. Every saint here's got a ledger full, smiles cut sharp like a rusted plow. Ain't no angels walking now. You can wash your hands in the river's brown, but the dirt won't leave this dying ground. Every truth gets buried down in broken Halo Town. Graveyard wind through crooked stones calls each sinner by their bones. Every lie's got a name carved deep, no one here gets sacred sleep. A lantern swings on a splintered nail, lights the path where the good men fail, and the ones who tried to leave somehow still hear the curse of this cursed old town. So ring those bells till the iron cracks, still can't take what the devil tracks. Every promise bends and bows to the weight we're living now. You can dig your grave or wear your crown, either way you're breaking down. Heaven's gate don't come around for broken broken halo town. Oh, the truth's been bleeding out, but no one dares to speak it loud. Every soul gets hunted down in broken halo town. I used to ride with thunder in the chamber of my hand. Cold steel sang louder than the law of any land. Boot heels on gravel, blood drying in the sun. Every mile I traveled, I was out running what I'd done. I carved my name in trouble, let the night take hold, counted out my mercy in a fist of tarnished gold. Now the wind feels different when it cuts across my skin, like it knows the kind of man I never should have been. There's rust on my revolver, and I'm praying it won't fire. Buried in the dirt with all the ghosts I can't retire. I laid it down in silence, tried to walk a straight line, but the past don't stay buried, it just waits its turn in time. There's rust on my revolver, but it still remembers me. Every sin I carry, every man I used to be. I found a little chapel at the edge of broken fields, where the preacher spoke of grace like a wound that finally heals. I wash my hands in river water, watch the red run thin, but the current couldn't carry off the way to where I'd been. Now I keep my distance from the edge I used to walk, but I hear it in the quiet, in the spaces people talk, like a hammer pulling slowly, like a breath before the fall. That old iron heart is beating every time I hear the call. There's rust on my revolver, and I'm praying it won't fire. Buried in the dirt with all the ghosts I can't retire. I laid it down in silence, tried to walk a straighter line, but the past don't stay buried, it just waits its turn in time. There's rust on my revolver, but it still remembers me. Every sin I carried, every man I used to be. If mercy's just a road, then I've been walking blind. Every step behind me still is carving through my mind, and I swear I hear it calling from the grave I tried to dig. A made out of gun smoke, saying I ain't done with it. I could break the barrel, throw the pieces to the rain, but you can't unpull a trigger that's still living in your brain. So I stand here in the silence with my hands up to the sky, begging for a peace that don't come loaded with goodbye. There's rust on my revolver, and I'm shaking where I stand, like the devil kept the blueprint of that weapon in my hand. I tried to drown the thunder, tried to let the violence fade, but the echo of the damage is a debt that don't get paid. There's rust on my revolver, but it's heavier than before, 'cause the man I tried to bury's still knocking at my door. Yeah, there's rust on my revolver, but I don't trust it anymore. The clock struck 12 like a gun in the dark. I was waiting on mercy, believe it's mark. Street lamp flickered on a broken road, like a preacher choking on the words he told. I had faith in a turn, in a clean-cut line. The past would loosen its rusted spine, but the night just sat like a judge in black, and every prayer I sent came crawling back. Midnight didn't save me, didn't wash me clean, didn't break these chains or erase what I've been. I stood in the silence, begged for a sign, but the hands kept moving, same as before time. If redemption was coming, it lost my name. Midnight didn't save me, I stayed the same. Walk past a bar where the sinners pray, with a glass in hand just to numb the day. Old jukebox crying a worn-out tune, like a dying man howling at the moon. I saw my face in a window crack, like a ghost of a man I can't take back. Every mile I run, every lie I tell, just another nail in a private hell. Midnight didn't save me, didn't wash me clean, didn't break these chains or erase what I've been. I stood in the silence, begged for a sign, but the hands kept moving, same as before time. If redemption was coming, it lost my name. Midnight didn't save me, I stayed the same. I heard that I was a sacred gate, where I've been led. Maybe hope's just a lie that the broken spread. So I lit one match, watched it fade too fast, like every promise that couldn't last. Midnight didn't save me, didn't set me free, didn't call forgiveness out of what I see. I stood in the ruins of who I'd become, with a heart like a drum that don't outrun. If heaven was calling, it passed me by, left me here with the truth I can't deny. Midnight didn't save me, it let me remain just a man in the dark, wearing all my pain. There's a hollow in the floor where your weight used to fall. Bold, remember every footstep down that narrow hall. Coffee cups still chipped the way you liked it best, cold as the silence laying heavy in my chest. Screen door don't slam like it used to at night, just hangs there crooked, won't put up a fight. Wind rolls through like it's calling your name, but it dies on my lips every time just the same. Your boots by the door, still waiting in line, dust on the leather, frozen in time, like you walked out to nowhere, left me the key to a house full of ghosts and what used to be. I keep staring at the space you won't fill anymore, praying to footsteps that won't hit the floor. Your boots by the door, they're all that remain of a man who walked out and never came. Your jacket still hangs like a ghost on a nail, smells like tobacco and a story gone stale. There's a half-burned match in an old tin tray, like you meant to come back at the end of the day. Neighbors don't ask, they just lower their eyes. They've all heard the rumors, they've all told their lies, but I know the truth in the pit of my bones. Some roads don't circle, they just take you along. Your boots by the door, still waiting in line, dust on the leather, frozen in time, like you walked out to nowhere and left me the key to a house full of ghosts and what used to be. I keep staring at the space you won't fill anymore, praying to footsteps that won't hit the floor. Your boots by the door, they're all that remain of a man who walked out and never came. I tried moving them once, couldn't stand the sight, but the room went colder that very same night, like you'd find your way back if I left them alone, like those worn out souls still remembered home. So I set them right back where you used to stand, two quiet witnesses I don't understand. And I swear some nights when the wind cuts low, I hear something moving, but it won't show. Your boots by the door, still waiting in line. Dust on the leather, frozen in time, like you walked out to nowhere and left me the key to a house full of ghosts and what used to be. I keep staring at the space you won't fill anymore, praying to footsteps that won't hit the floor. Your boots by the door won't walk back again, just a memory worn into leather and paint. Your boots by the door, and I'm still here waiting in vain. There's a mile of dust behind these worn-out wheels. Gravel sings like judgment every time I peel. Another town, another lie I learned to wear, like a borrowed coat that never quite fits fair. I left a name carved deep in county lines, where the preacher knew the truth behind my eyes. Now every road just bends but never breaks, and every dawn feels like a fresh mistake. I got sins I can't outrun, they ride shotgun with me through every state line, every back road county. I keep driving through the night, but they don't fall behind, like blood on the wind, like a mark I can't hide. I could run till the devil forgets my name, but these sins I can't outrun still know the way. There's a motel cross flickering, half alive, where I washed my hands but couldn't feel them dry. Every mirror shows a man I used to know, with a past that won't stay buried down below. I hear the sirens in the pouring rain, but it's just the guilt calling out my name. I trade my sleep for one more mile of road, but the weight don't lighten, just shifts the load. I got sins I can't outrun, they ride shotgun with me through every state line, every back road county. I keep driving through the night, but they don't fall behind, like blood on the wind, like a mark I can't hide. I could run till the devil forgets my name, but these sins I can't outrun still know the way. If there's mercy in the dirt, I ain't found the place. If there's grace in these hands, it's been worn away. I dug a hole once deep enough for truth, but the ground spit it back like it always do. Now the tires hum low like a funeral hymn, and the past sits quiet but it's closing in. There's no horizon wide enough to save a man who's digging while he tries to escape. I got sins I can't outrun, they ride shotgun with me through every lost road and broken memory. I keep driving through the dark, but it won't let me go. Like fire in my chest, like a debt I still owe. I could run till the world turns cold and gone, but these sins I can't outrun keep dragging me on. Yeah, I could run till there's nothing left to become, but I'll die on the road with the sins I can't outrun. There's a red line crawling through the timber tonight, like a serpent made of anger, chewing bark down the bone. Wind's got a preacher's voice, calling judgment in the pines. Ash falls soft like a snowfall over everything I've known. My father's porch is cracking in the heat of the flame. That old guitar is crying where I left it by the wall. There's a picture of your face turning black in the smoke, and I can't tell if I'm running from the fire or the fall, or the fire in the pines took my name in its mouth, burned the road I was walking, turned me inside out. Every memory's a cinder drifting into the sky. I got nothing left to bury, nothing left to deny. Yeah, the fire in the pines don't leave nothing behind. Just a man full of ghosts and a trail of goodbye. There was a chapel down the hill where we swore we'd grow old. Now the steeple's just a finger pointing nowhere at all. I hear the crack of the rafters like a hymn gone wrong, like a choir made a devil singing, ruin through it all. Your dress was hanging wide on the line that day. Now it's ashes on the wind where the black crows fly. I tried to hold on to something that the flames couldn't take, but even love ain't sacred when the whole world's dry. Oh, the fire in the pines took my name in its mouth, burned the road I was walking, just a man full of ghosts and a trail of goodbye. I stood in the clearing with the smoke in my lungs, watched the past turn to embers in the dead of the night. There's a sound when it's over, ain't a scream, ain't a cry, just a silence so heavy it can swallow the light. I called your name, but the wind dragged it off like it never belonged in my chest in the first place. Now the world feels hollow where the roots used to hold, and I'm just passing through what used to be our place. Oh, the fire in the pines took my soul in its mouth, left me wandering circles with no way back out. Every promise we made turned to dust in my hands. Now I'm walking through a graveyard that I don't understand. Yeah, the fire in the pines don't leave nothing behind. Just a man made of ashes and a heart undefined. Yeah, the fire in the pines took everything that was mine. Gravel sings beneath these worn-out wheels, like a hymn for men with nothing left to feel. Dust hangs heavy like a sinner's prayer. Ain't no mercy riding shotgun there. Skies are bruised, stretched wide and thin, painted black where the sun once been. Got a bottle rolling on the floor, but it don't taste like it did before. I'm lonely like the highway, cold and long. Every mile just echoes what went wrong. No town ahead, no place behind, just a broken man out running time. I'm lonely like the highway, lost and strayed. No map to guide me, no reason to stay. If there's a God, He don't pass this way. I'm lonely like the highway. Radio hums, but it don't speak clear, just static ghosts. I swore I'd hear your voice buried in the noise somehow, but it don't sound like you now. Passed across by the roadside bin, name wore off, but I know that end. Every soul that tried to outrun fate meets the same cold rusted gate. I'm lonely like the highway, cold and long. Every mile just echoes what went wrong. No town ahead, no place behind, just a broken man out running time. I'm lonely like the highway, lost and stray. No map to guide me, no reason to stay. If there's a God, He don't pass this way. I'm lonely like the highway. If I stop, I might feel your hands again. Ghosts don't fade, they just sink within. There's a fire burned out in my chest, only ashes where you used to rest. So I drive through the dark, through the blank. Every road got a different name, but they all lead down the same black line, where your memory won't let me die. I'm lonely like the highway, cold and long. Every mile just carves another wrong. No dawn breaks, no angels call, just empty sky.